Today we're talking about communication skills. Working with people can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. I'm Coach Molle from the Visibility Hacking team, and we help small businesses boost their visibility online. And a big part of that are communication skills, are the ways that we communicate not only with our teams, but with our wider communities and with our individual clients or students. So today we're going to talk very specifically about interpersonal communication skills, because building your influence and authority is crucial to having this skill set. We're going to start out by talking about what it is and why it matters. Then I'll share with you 7 interpersonal communication skills that you can start practicing today. And the hard truth, you're probably making people feel uncomfortable and you don't even know it. For this and more, stay tuned. Interpersonal communication skills. These are the skills that are essential to working with other people. These are the skills required to effectively communicate, interact with, and work with different groups and different people. And specifically, we're going to use these skills to grow our small businesses. Regardless if you're just getting started or you've been doing this for a while, we want to make sure that yes, you have that solid foundation, but that you also have a toolbox with the skills that you need to be successful. So that's why I want you to really pay attention to what we're going to talk about in the rest of today's video. Now, before we get going on the rest of these juicy goodnesses, and before I give you any tips, tricks, or strategies, I want to make sure that you are here for the long run, that you are here to grow your business. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, join us here on the channel, and you'll get served up daily doses of our visibility hacking strategies and tools. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's talk about 7 different interpersonal communication skills that you can start using today. The very, very first one on this list is empathic listening. And we talk a lot about listening on this channel. There are a variety of different videos you can check out here on the Visibility Hacking channel where we cover why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And that's because from a business perspective, being able to listen to our customers is so vitally important to building the right products and offers and services to serve those customers. So make sure that you're listening to the concerns and the objections and the obstacles that your clients and your ideal clients are putting in front of you. Have that listening and listen from a place of empathy. So that means stepping outside of you and your role and your needs and your desires and stepping into the shoes of your customer. Those are the businesses that really become successful because they not only listen to their customers, they stand in a position of empathy with their customers and really work at developing products from that perspective. The second strategy that you can start utilizing today is to ask purposeful questions. Yes, we can listen a lot, but we also want to drive the conversation in a way that's going to give us the information that we're looking for, that we're trying to uncover. And that begins with purposeful, intentional questions. Just like creating content that is intentional to drive the conversation within our communities, we also want to be mindful of the questions that we're asking. So this means being intentional about the questions that you're asking. So think about what kind of data are you trying to gather? Reverse engineer that questioning process so that you know what kind of information you're going to get out of the process in the end. So, for example, you're trying to develop a new course around a very specific topic, and you're asking your people, what information are you looking for? What are your biggest questions around this topic? Then you're asking questions that are intentionally driving what is going to help you improve on iterations and get better and better at developing the product that you're working on. You're not just asking them what their favorite color is. You're not just asking them random questions for the sake of asking random questions for engagement. And we see a ton of this happening with content creators and different Facebook groups, for example. It's just random questions of the day. But instead, I want you to think about being intentional and purposeful behind the questions that you're asking. The third tip is focusing on effective communication. And that means being able to deliver your message in a clear and concise way. For many people, this might mean writing down your script and using a teleprompter when you're delivering your messages in your show, for example. Or maybe communicating more effectively comes out of being more confident and comfortable sharing your message on that medium. I know I've worked with a lot of people who get really nervous about standing on stages and speaking, but they're super comfortable when they're sitting down at a round table. When they're in a different setting, they're much more eloquent and articulate at the way that they are delivering their message. But for some reason, they're not comfortable in the space of being on stage. And so that's where they focus their energy on improving. They know that they're great at other things, so they just focus on the one area where they need that little bit of a boost. So focus on articulating your idea in a way that is effective, in a way that your ideal customer or your ideal client will connect with it, where it resonates with them. Next one is really hard for people, and that is proudly engaging in difficult conversations. Okay, maybe proudly isn't the best way to describe it, but making sure that you can confidently walk into difficult conversations. It's really hard for people. It's really hard. And you know, almost every single one of us gets these butterflies in our stomachs, gets this feeling of complete dread where we just want to avoid. We want to do anything we can to avoid that conversation. That is totally normal and natural. But what I invite you to do is look for the common connectors in those spaces where you're having those difficult conversations. So say, for example, you are having a difficult conversation with a member of your team who isn't pulling their weight. Instead of avoiding that conversation, therefore the problem is just going to continue to get worse, you can instead engage in that conversation at the beginning when it starts to become a topic that you need to discuss. And then you can nip it in the bud. But what I want you to do is find the common ground. Find where you are able to step into their perspective, step into their shoes, see the problem from their side, and try and find where there are commonalities between your side and their side, and stop thinking about it as sides. We can have a whole masterclass on dealing with difficult conversations, which if you're interested in, let me know down in the comments. But let's get back to this list. 5 on the list is conflict resolution and focusing on a lot of what we were just talking about. We were just talking about stepping into those difficult conversations. Well, if you don't step into those conversations, then it becomes a conflict and it becomes much more difficult. In that case, it's going to be a skill that you really want to focus on, being able to see those commonalities and start to deflate and slow down some of those conflicts. Number 6 on the list is to focus on influence building, and that is essential as a visibility hacker. So what that looks like, what it means to step into your skills of influence. Well, I want you to pay attention to really powerful speakers on stages. This is where I found it most impactful. So motivational speakers, really good preachers and church leaders. We have really great salespeople and closers. All of those types of speakers are able to really engage and influence the actions and behaviors of those who they are speaking to. So focus on what you're seeing and what kinds of patterns you're seeing in the way that they're speaking. Though I just gave you very different examples, and you can see that there will be similarities that you can start putting into your skill set as well. Now, to round out that list, the most powerful one of all of those is focusing on your negotiation skills. Negotiation skills are not just essential when it comes to business things. They are great when you're trying to negotiate with your kids. They are great when you're trying to negotiate sales and customized products with different clients. Especially, that's what I do a lot of with my high-end clients, is we work through these beautiful 6 and 7 figure agreements, which are all negotiated from scratch. But it takes a level of creativity and it takes a level of interpersonal skill in order to be successful with that. But that, again, is a whole nother story for another day. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. And if there are any other topics that you are curious about in the visibility hacking world to help boost up your brand and your business's visibility, then definitely drop them down in the comments below, because I would love to hear them. All right, so sometimes there are people who feel like they are born with interpersonal skills, that it's just something they are very comfortable doing. Well, I hate to tell you that sometimes you might actually be making people around you feel uncomfortable. And I was one of those people. I didn't even know. So I want to share this with you so that you can kind of mellow out, connect with your people a little bit better, find that level and that connection with your community. So the first thing I want you to pay attention to is that you may feel overloaded with emotion. That's when you can start to irritate people around you, when you're driven instead by emotion rather than logic, which is why I always get you guys to write down your stories, to think about those things, those moments in your life, those epiphanies where you want to share them with your community, but they might still be bleeding wounds that you have to work on. That's why we draw the line between what we share live and what we hold back and we develop and we nurture a little bit more. When we're overcome with emotion, when we're loaded with emotion, that it can be a total turnoff for our people. Another one of those turnoffs is actually the complete opposite of those who were born with confidence. It's that feeling of lacking confidence. You've ever been around someone like that? I know I have, and it felt like they were a total emotional drain. They were just a suck on all of my energy. That is totally a turnoff. So if you're feeling like you're lacking that confidence, I want you to find whatever it's going to take to help you boost that confidence, even marginally, step by step, incrementally better every single attempt. I want you to start working on that, because that lack of confidence is a complete and total turnoff. Another turnoff that I found when it comes to interpersonal skills is some people have this reluctance to coach. They have this total aversion to wanting to help other people, wanting to work them through a process, wanting to help them overcome, because that's too much work for them, or that's too much thinking for them. I don't really know. But that reluctance to help people move forward is also something that's slowing down your brand and your business success. So work on that. Another unfortunate personality trait or interpersonal lack of skill is those who are really quick to quit. Those people who are really quick to just throw in the towel, throw up their hands, and walk away because it got too hard. So make sure that you are finding that level of resilience, finding that, I kind of find the joy in the struggle sometimes. So find that place, because as the Buddhist teachings always tell us, life is suffering. So just kind of enjoy it along the ride. That second part is totally not a Buddhist teaching. That's just me. But what I want you to do is to find that confidence that you need to. Find that confidence in your message. Find that confidence in your purpose and your passion and your path. And that will change it for you guys. And oh my goodness, the worst one I've ever seen when it comes to like lacking interpersonal skills that are complete turnoffs are some people have this total aversion or this refusal to network. network with others and to grow their connections with people. And I know I kind of did that for a while because I'm super shy sometimes. I find it really difficult to get into those networking spaces and to make those connections. It takes a lot of my energy, but it is essential to the success of my business. So I tell you, if you are feeling that nervousness, if you are feeling like you don't want to go connect with people, then I want you to just kind of push that boundary just a little bit. And of course, you can start in a wonderfully safe place, which is the Visibility Hacking Facebook group. You can join us over at visibilityhacking.com. There's a button on that page that says Become a Visibility Hacker. Click that, join our group, join the movement, and I am so excited to see your introduction, for you to introduce yourself, for you to hang out in the group, all of that fun stuff. So I will see you over in the group. Until I see you then, remember, I love you, be excellent to each other, and go find your people. They're out there waiting for you.